bullshit ass draft pick being attached to free agency, and you change the way that you're getting your money. And you got to think about it. If they're getting just, they can't even be getting an 80-20 split right now. They got to get closer to a 60-40, which is what I believe the NBA is at right now.
Well, I thought I thought the NBA was by rule 51-49. Like that's the reason.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like they put a cap on the players' salaries at 49% of the thing, but in reality, I mean, I guess there are some teams that are below that, but really functionally, what they did is they put a cap on the owners' salaries at 51%. Because if you're going to be competitive, you're going to pay basically max money.
That's so great. I mean, that they've got to go to that model, man. I'm telling you, it would be essential, and it would be better for the sport, man, to be able to see everybody get paid.
And the truth is, like the people that own these teams, they shouldn't be doing this as their source of income. This should be like what you do if you're a billionaire for fun. We need, as much as I dog on Yankees, we need more George Steinbrenners out there. The guys just want
Yes, I miss George Steinbrenner, we grew up in the era of the real George Steinbrenner when he was relentless, man. He signed everybody. He threw that money around.
It's like they talk about the Dodgers have more money than God, and the Cubs guy has more money than those guys, and who's the
and the Nationals owner, the Lerner family, they're freaking super loaded.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a couple of them that aren't multi-billionaires, but they're all. It's like what? It's like this is your hobby, It's like they should be owning the team the way you and I broadcast on this network. We do it with a lot of passion. We spend more time on it than we reasonably should. Because this is not our livelihood. This is our thing we want to do.
Yeah, and they're making $40-50 million profit a year every year. That's ridiculous.
It's more than that. They're making like on the low end $100 billion a year. If you count the accretion of the value of their team.
Yeah, with the contract of the TV contracts and all that shit, huh?
Well, I mean, just to put it like the worst team last year in value going into 2018 was the Marlins at $900 million. And they sold for $1 billion, which is $100 million just for being a team. Teams
that's nuts.
Teams like, I mean, what's really nuts is like the Yankees are worth just over $4 billion, right? Next year when they value them, they're going to be like $4.25 billion, which means that they'll have gone up $250 million, like $300 million or so. They're going to go up because it's kind of percentage wise because they're already so high. It's like, yeah, and that's not counting like any profitability that they have. That's just the value of the team is going to go up by that amount. I said that about Bryce Harper's contract when they said there was a lot of money. It's like the truth is, in 2 years, the value by signing the Harper, the value of the team will go up enough to pay his entire contract.
That's nuts.
Because once you start talking about $1 billion, if your equity grows by 10%. That's $100 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
And most of these teams, the Cubs are worth, like 2.4. Houston's worth like 2.3. The Red Sox are worth like 2.7. Even the mid-level teams, like everybody's worth $1 billion. Now the Marlins made it. They're mostly like worth 1.5. The Mets are worth 1.7. In that area. That 10% bonus is going to be, that's $200 million. All you gotta do is sell a team. It's the easiest way to make money. That was the reason why the reason why Ricketts bought the Cubs was because he had too much money on his hands, and he paid somebody to find what the best investment was out there. What's the thing that's gonna give me the best rate of return on $1 billion with the greatest chance of not losing it? And the guy said they went through all. They searched the world over, and they said, you know what the best thing is? Buy the Cubs. It's a license to print money. And you don't have to be any good at it. Literally, there's an article written in I think it was Rolling Stone where the guy interviewed the guys like it's like they did it for the money. They did it for the money entirely. They did do the nice thing and get us one World Series, but they don't care about it anymore because they aren't playing this as a hobby. They're playing it as a way to make money. It's like to them, buying the Cubs was like buying $100,000 worth of T-bills. It's like I put $1 billion in, it's going to grow by 15% a year. It's not going to lose any money, not going to lose anything. That's the deal. Anything you looking
That's
forward
crazy.
to? Anything you looking forward to the rest of the year?
Second half of baseball, it's always my favorite time of the year, man. Like I love the finishes. I love the wild card races. I love the last couple weeks of the season. One of my favorite memories is 2011. I think it was when Evan Longoria hit
The
that
last
walk
game
off
of the-
homer last day of the season. I mean, I live for shit like that, man. I love the playoffs. I've been to so many postseason games. It's looking like the A's are going to make the playoffs this year. I'm really hoping the Giants are too. It'd be good to go down and see some Bay Area playoff baseball this year. I love baseball, dude. I'm so juiced about this. It's all shaping up. It's all coming together. We know, kind of who the rookies are that have been good. We've seen players that have busted, etc. It's just we know a lot that we didn't know. It's really interesting. So and this is something that used to be really common, was the second half drafts. And I know ESPN didn't even host them this year. I don't know if they did. They didn't advertise for it. But we did one on Fantrax, and I thought it was interesting. But it was still ranked from the first half of the year, so drafting was a freaking challenge.
Yeah,
But it was
has a weird ranking system. They do it by their points situation. You got to be kind of smart.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But it's just one of those things where, it used to be really common. We did second half baseball drafts, but now on Twitter, everyone's talking about NFL. And I just can't seem to switch gears yet. And I've always had a problem with, fantasy guys getting started in August. And, that's why I'm always behind the eight ball in fantasy football as opposed to fantasy baseball, because I like to grind out the second half. I really like to, finish my teams out of whether.
There's nothing to do with fantasy football right now.
Oh, everyone's talking about it, dude. That's all I can think about on Twitter, dude.
I don't know what
drafts. Is Derrick Henry a bust this year? And what quarterback are you taking? And blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
The truth is, you turn that off and you turn it back on, August 21st, and you'll be in the same spot as everybody else.
Yes, I know I'm good. I'll get a magazine. I'll read some things online. I'll listen to Lou Landers talk about football. That guy knows stuff. And I'll be right in the driver's seat in 3 weeks, man, guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't. That second half draft, I wasn't invited to. Never got an invite. That's all right. I wouldn't want to play anyway. I would have turned it down based on the fact it was on Fantrax, but it's like
I hate fucking Fantrax, dude. Fantrax is the worst. It's so difficult to deal with. It really is.
It's got the kind of convoluted. The one thing I say about Fantrax is that I'll say a couple positives about them. One is they have the deepest player pool of anybody out there if you're doing a dynasty league. The second
dynasty league. CBS is equal.
CBS is very good, but you do have to pay for that version of CBS.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Pay for the league manager. It's like $150 a year. I'd gladly pay for it. You charge people in your.
I'm just saying that there is a difference between a free league and it's like you can do it in Fantrax, but you can do it.
I get it. It's just not user friendly, man. It's just.
No, it isn't. That's the thing. I would actually say this about it. I would say that every piece of information that you need to play fantasy baseball is on the Fantrax site, but good luck figuring out where it is. It's like I literally whenever I play on there, I plug some bulletin boards and I'll go, I know it's here somewhere. Can someone tell me where this is? You know what I mean? Then somebody will answer it. Like, oh, all
Trust
right.
me, I was trying to find something really stupid on the website, and I just could not find it. It took me me and Andrew are both trying to track it down and figure it out.
Is there a list of? It's like I'm trying to make my my fab bids. Is there a spot? I know that if I go to everybody's page, it'll say everybody.
That's what it was. It was to find out how much money everyone had.
How much money does everyone have? It's like, you go
exactly
into
what it was.
You go into this settings page where it's like, well, there's an overview page that no one ever uses, but it's there. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, there's a bunch of little things like that. It's like, I want to know. I'm going to bid on this guy. I just want to know what everyone else has. I don't really want to go page by page because they do have on everybody's homepage. It does say how much money they have, but it should be in one spot.
You asked me what else I was looking forward to, man. I'm looking forward to the trade deadline. This is going to be the first year where we have one solid trade deadline. Am I correct on saying this? Where there's no waivers after. This is correct, right?
July 31st.
Yeah. So
12 days
I'm
away.
really, really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be fast and furious, man. Like we've never seen before. I think teams that are really players or think that are going to be players are going to be doing business, man. And I think there's going to be because there's finality to it at this point. Like there's no waiver trade deadline. I mean, you can't just go get that pitcher you need.
I mean,
I think
all
we're
right.
going to see a lot
Outside
of
of
a lot of
out-
relief pitchers are going to go.
outside of
I was
outside
the
of
other.
Madison
Go ahead.
outside of Madison Bumgarner, who is a stud,
And
recognizable
think
star
about it.
name.
Are
Who
the
else?
Giants going to trade them if they're in contention?
Well, I'm not saying, but I look at who's in this thing, and I know there's some players that I like, and there's players that you like because we're fantasy guys. We kind of analyze this a little better. But like the key guys that are going to move are going to be guys like Howie Kendrick and Eric Sogard.
You think the Nationals are going to trade a guy like Kendrick when they're in the race? I don't see Kendrick going anywhere, dude. He's actually having an outstanding season if you look at the numbers.
They're not playing him. That's the only reason I'd say it. It's like he doesn't.
They
play.
totally are playing him. He has
plays
been
like
playing.
3 days a week. I mean, I guess that's something. But he doesn't play enough. Will Myers on the Padres doesn't play. Like
Will Myers could be gone if they can get something for him. I think they'd trade him in a heartbeat.
That's the one.
I think the Padres are serious about
what I'm
contending in the future, but I just don't think they're serious about contending this year. I think Paddock is gonna hit an innings cap real fucking soon. I don't think there's any way they're gonna push him past 150 innings. If they do, they're crazy.
They'll probably give him a 2 week. They'll have a rough stretch where they're playing at Colorado, and then maybe an early game versus the Yankees, and they'll go, "Hey, he's got a hangnail. Here's 2 weeks DL."
They're gonna have to do something,
But
man.
the question I'm getting at is like, who do you see? I mean, every year there's going to be a stuff, and I think that having one trade deadline, but looking at who can be traded, I don't see anybody that is like, that I think is a game changer. I think there's a bunch of there's a bunch of okay players. I mean, I get Jose Abreu gets traded. Maybe that might be the best player outside of Bumgarner.
You think Jose Abreu could go?
Well, his contract's up.
Yeah,
Those are the two things you're looking at. You're looking at people whose contracts are
two
up.
guys in the final year of their contract, sure.
Because
Yeah, that would make sense.
There was a rumor about the Royals are kind of dead weight, right? And there was a rumor
Sure.
about the Cubs trading for Whit Merrifield, and the Royals said
See,
that
Whit Merrifield's wasting away in Kansas City.
but it's like what they want in return is they want 3 major league ready players in return, and that's a steep
And the
price.
Royals should ask the farm for Merrifield.
No, I mean, but the Cubs don't have that.
Sure.
I mean, the
But
Cubs have it,
somebody's got to be willing to pay. Somebody's going to be willing to pay that price.
but it doesn't matter if
You
somebody
know,
like,
maybe
it
maybe
has to be, it has to be one of
uh,
those 6 or 7 teams. It's like if the Yankees get Whit Merrifield, it's not going to make any difference on whether they make the playoffs or not. If the Astros get Whit Merrifield, it's not going to make any difference. If they
but
make
what
the
if a
playoffs or
team
not.
like Boston goes and gets him? Because Chavis has not necessarily been a model of consistency at this
Yeah.
point in the season.
So,
He's shown flashes of brilliance, but if you put a Whit Merrifield in the middle infield of that Boston Red Sox team, you go automatic contender. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but do they have 3 major league ready players that they give? I mean, in order to do that, they're going to have to give up Chavis, give up like the trade would be Chavis. Who's their third baseman? Chavis, Devers, and a minor league.
there's no way, dude. That's way too much. You're in
No.
La La Land.
No, but the
There's
thing
no.
is, the thing
Even
is,
Rafael
it's a-
Devers is an all-star right now. He's 17 homes and he's hitting over 300.
It's a silly trade, but
Oh.
there is no permutation of
No,
guys that doesn't include.
no.
No, it has to include guys on there
There's plenty of minor league guys that can
who
be
are
traded.
major league ready. No, major league ready in their minors. Their best minor leaguer is that is it looks like they got like the new Benintendi. But those guys aren't major league ready. Major league ready means a lot. Like for the Cubs to trade for him, they're talking like, all right, we give them Addison Russell and David Bodie and Ian Happ. It's like,
Yeah, I would do that deal in a heartbeat if I was the Cubs.
but that's about the best they could do. Boston could not do that. Doesn't have 3 major
Why
league
would
ready.
Kansas City? Why would Kansas City do that? Kansas City
No, they
is a
wouldn't.
team that should be trying to stack high-end prospects right now.
No, but that's what they said. You know what I mean? Like they don't want bad prospects, and the teams that might trade for Whit Merrifield don't have
I mean, Merrifield should covet the kind of package that we saw Chris Sale get,
But
like a Yon Moncada type prospect, and maybe a couple other throw in guys,
the
a Michael
only
Kopech
teams,
type level pitcher. You know what I mean? Like
the only there's only probably 7 teams that could do that, and only